The global obsession with drifting. It wasn't really born in Hollywood. Turns out, it was forged by a high school kid in a decades-old Toyota, delivering tofu in rural Japan. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We take a whole stack of sources, pull out the most surprising, essential insights, really, to give you that fast track to expertise.
And today, we're strapping in for a look at Initial D. You probably know it as the anime about street racing, right? But what our sources dig into is, well, it's a story that actually talks about some complex stuff, mentorship, economic limits, even the philosophy of chasing perfection.
Okay, so our mission today is clear. We're not just going to read you the plot summary. We want to understand the specific cultural stuff, the car context that made the series blow up globally. We'll unpack the secret behind its legendary main character and connect those, super intense downhill races to real lessons about growth, about dedication.
Exactly. We're going to figure out why this series, which started, over 2 decades ago, why it still feels like a timeless classic.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how you have to look beyond the shiny cars.
And into the culture that actually created it all.
Yeah, if you look at the sources, they really stress that Initial D didn't just, appear out of nowhere. It came directly from Japan's car tweaking culture. And this wasn't just about going fast.
Right.
It was almost a lifestyle. Modifying cars, upgrading them, obsessing over performance. It was tied up with technical skill, maybe even a bit of national pride.
And that skill got tested not on some official track, but through Tokei.
Right, the illegal street races, usually super fast on these winding mountain roads.
Late at night, right, when no one else was around.
Exactly. And the series just captures that specific real-world vibe perfectly.
And a big part of that authenticity, that real feeling, comes from the fact it wasn't just, made up for TV. It started as a manga.
Yeah, written and illustrated by Shuichi Shigeno. It ran in Weekly Young Magazine, starting way back in 1995.
And it ran for a long time.
Oh yeah, nearly 2 decades. Wrapped up in 2013, 48 volumes total.
Wow.
And the numbers show it connected. By 2021, it sold over 55 million copies worldwide. 55 million. Okay, so definitely not just some niche car comic.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It clearly tapped into something bigger.
Yeah.
About skill, competition, dedication.
And the creator, Shigeno, he made sure that authenticity was the foundation for everything. We found out it actually had oversight from a pro racer, Kiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King.
That's right. And Tsuchiya's involvement is so crucial. It means the techniques, especially drifting that controlled slide through corners, they're shown accurately. It's not just for looks. It grounds the whole thing in real physics, real driving skill.
So it blends the drama with actual factual mechanics.
Exactly. And that's what lifted it, I think, beyond just being a cartoon about fast cars.
Okay, so if the world was authentic, they needed a protagonist who felt just as real, right?
Yeah.
Someone believable to carry it all.
Well, Takumi Fujiwara.
Yeah.
He's almost the anti-hero, isn't he? Or maybe the reluctant expert. He's just a high school kid, totally bored by the idea of racing, works a pretty mundane job at a gas station.
Right, he's the opposite of the usual, super ambitious racer archetype.
His only real connection is sort of through the local team, the Akina Speedstars. Mainly his friend Itsuki Takuchi. And the leader, Ikitani.
But the genius of it, the sort of core paradox, is Takumi's secret weapon.
It's those skills he built up doing tofu deliveries for his dad, Bunta. Every morning, super early on that treacherous Akina Pass. Same route, year after year.
And he's doing it in this seriously old car, a Toyota Sprinter, Tirreno AE86, the 86.
Yeah, and it's not just an underdog car. It really reflects kind of the economic reality for some people. You look at the competition, like the Red Suns team with Ryosuke and Kyusuke Takahashi.
Yeah, they've got the powerful, modern, turbocharged stuff, expensive machines.
Exactly. The AE86 is, functionally, it's obsolete.
That's such a key point, though. The AE86 wasn't just old. It was light, didn't have much power.
Right.
It demanded incredible skill just to keep up, let alone win. The sources really point out that Takumi mastering that car, it wasn't about horsepower.
No, it was about continuous improvement. Like Kaizen, but for driving. He wasn't winning because of tech. He was winning because he was resourceful, incredibly resourceful.
And that resourcefulness leads to that, iconic moment that really kicks the plot off. Kaisuke Takahashi, the hotshot from the Red Suns, challenges the local guys, and who beats him on the downhill? Some mysterious driver in an old A86.
Which turns out to be Takumi, yeah.
Yeah.
Who just wanted to get his deliveries done and go home.
And this is where that boring, repetitive practice just pays off spectacularly. His signature move.
The gutter run.
Yeah. Porged from all those delivery runs instead of just breaking normally through a corner.
He intentionally drops his inside wheels into the concrete drainage gutters on the side of the road.
It sounds crazy, like it would wreck the car.
It probably would for most cars.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The gutter acts like a fixed rail. It stops the car from sliding outwards, letting him take the corner way faster than anyone else expects.
A move that those fancy, more powerful cars couldn't even attempt without, like, ripping their suspension apart.
Precisely. It's genius, but it requires absolute, flawless precision. The kind you only get from doing the exact same thing thousands of times.
We also have to mention his dad, Bunta, right?
Oh, absolutely. Bunta's a legend himself. He's not just the owner of the car. He's this silent, kind of strategic mentor. He deliberately makes things harder for Takumi. Remember the cup of water task?
Yeah. Keep the water from spilling while driving fast.
It forces Takumi to develop this incredibly smooth, precise driving style, pushing his senses way beyond a normal racer. It adds that whole family mentorship layer to it all.
It really is the ultimate underdog story. Mastery coming from focus and dedication, not just, buying the best equipment.
So, okay, we move from the driving technique, the mechanics of it, to the human side, the psychology. Why does this series stick with people for so long? I think it's because the racing becomes this pressure cooker for growth, for learning about yourself, dealing with failure.
Yeah, it's all about pushing your passion towards, like, perfection. But there's the strict code around it.
Yeah.
The sources really emphasize this paradox. All the characters are super confident, lots of ego, fiercely competitive.
Oh, yeah, definitely ego-driven.
But that whole culture demands total mutual respect, whether you win or lose.
You see it play out, right? The egos clash hard on the track, cars inches apart, pushing physics.
Yeah.
But the second the race is over, the loser has to acknowledge the winner's skill, and the winner has to honor the loser's effort. It's almost like
a martial art on wheels.
Exactly. It turns street racing into something with structure, with honor.
Which raises that interesting question. What happens when Takumi finally meets his match? Because he does.
Right. He starts out reluctant, just kind of forced into these duels.
Yeah.
But he has to evolve. When he goes up against teams like the Emperors with their super powerful Lancer Evos,
yeah,
he can't just rely on his old tricks. He has to genuinely commit.
And that commitment gets formalized, right, when he joins Project D.
Yes. The dedicated racing team formed by Ryosei Kakahashi, his former rival. That shift is huge. It marks Takumi moving from being like an accidental expert to someone who chooses to pursue this.
He's not just delivering tofu anymore.
No. Now he's actively seeking out challenges, specific opponents, trying to find the absolute limit of his own skill and the AE86's capability.
It feels like a really powerful metaphor for, I don't know, professional life maybe. You start learning because you have to, but you only become a real master when you join a structure like Project D, where the goal is improving together, mapping out what you're truly capable of.
And the series shows that losing isn't the end point. It's just feedback. Necessary data for getting better next time.
It manages to blend all that technical talk, downhill specialist, four-wheel drift, apex, with these really strong emotional phrases like push to the limit.
Yeah, that mix of specific detail and universal emotion.
Yeah.
That's why it works globally, I think, even if you don't know anything about cars.
And Initial D's journey went way beyond just the manga pages, didn't it? It quickly became this multimedia giant.
Oh, absolutely. The anime adaptations kicked off with the first stage back in 1998.
And that was just the beginning.
Right. That success spawned a whole franchise. More stages, second, fourth, fifth, the final stage. Plus movies, OVAs focusing on side stories. And yeah, some people initially knocked the early CGI for the cars.
It looked a bit clunky at first, maybe.
It did, compared to later stuff. But by the later stages, the CG got really sophisticated. It made the race scenes incredibly dynamic, capturing that speed in a way traditional animation maybe couldn't have.
But maybe the most iconic part of the whole thing, the thing that really cemented its identity worldwide, is the music.
Oh, you have to talk about the Eurobeat.
Yeah.
That choice, using high energy, pulsing European dance music for the race scenes. It was kind of revolutionary for anime at the time. It created this immediate, unmistakable, adrenaline-pumping vibe that just became Initial D.
It wasn't just background music. It felt like totally integral to the race itself.
Exactly. The pacing, the emotion, it was all tied together.
And the influence spread way beyond the screen, too. There was that live-action movie in 2005.
Yeah, starring Jay Chou. Huge hit across Asia, won awards. And the legacy is still super strong in video games, like the initial D arcade stage machines.
Letting fans actually race on those mountain passes themselves, virtually.
And you see its reach in Western culture, too. The sources mention fans actually visiting the real roads in Gunma Prefecture in Japan, like a pilgrimage.
Wow.
And probably the biggest example in the U.S., you can really see its influence on the drifting focus in movies like Tokyo Drift.
Oh, yeah, from the Fast and the Furious franchise. Clear connection there.
Critics generally love this show, praising the excitement but also the character depth. It consistently got high marks.
It really is that blend, isn't it?
Ugh.
Super detailed, technical car talk mixed with really simple human dialogue and that emotional drive. Hashtag tag tag outro.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you listening? To kind of wrap up this deep dive, Initial D isn't just a fast car story. It's really a detailed look at human perseverance. It used this very specific world, illegal street racing, to talk about universal ideas. Mastery, mentorship, respecting the sheer dedication it takes to get good at something.
Yeah, it really proves that true mastery often comes from deep, consistent practice, maybe more than just raw talent.
And I think the most compelling takeaway, for me anyway, is that Takumi's legendary skill on the downhill. It wasn't born in some flashy, heroic moment. It came from years of routine, often boring, probably tedious early morning work. He wasn't even trying to become a racer. He was just doing his job.
His perfection was basically forged in the mundane.
Exactly.
So the question we'll leave you with is this. If you look at your own daily routines, even the stuff that feels repetitive or just necessary, if you approach those tasks as chances for precision, for getting it just right, what bigger challenge might that boring routine actually be preparing you for? Something to think about.